All right, welcome back and welcome to episode 154 of Those Millennials Podcast. Today I'm your humble, grateful, extremely thankful host, K the Classic. I'm here, my nearest and dearest, my boys and friends in real life. Rell's here. Rell, how you doing? How you feeling? How's your pockets? How was your week? You were really low.
Hear me?
Yeah, there you go. That's a little better. Yeah, so we're back for our second episode of the week. Gonna start the week off. So we're recording this on Sunday night, literally during the Minnesota Denver game. Yes, this is pretty disrespectful, and I blame you, Dustin. So Dustin, I know you check out these 25-minute pods. This is how much we're disrespecting your team right now. We're recording a
Nuggets is
recap. We're recording a recap of the playoff matchups of all the playoff games, and we're doing it during your. Well, actually, you probably shouldn't take it as disrespect. Maybe we're doing this because we feel like y'all should do what y'all supposed to do, which is win. So that's what y'all should do what y'all supposed to do. As we're recording right now, you guys are only up 3. It's the first quarter against Minnesota, 1-8 matchup. But yeah. So to make us right, I'm gonna go ahead and say Denver took care of business. So if I'm wrong, your team did not take care of business. Anyway, yeah, we're still gonna. So like we promised, we're gonna do these little 25-minute quick hitter pods. We're gonna try our best to do a quick recap of all the games that happened this week. But before we get to that, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. It helps the pod go a long way. If you guys like this little thing that we're doing as far as the 25 mods, just leave a comment. Let us know if you guys like the little shorter quickie pods for your recap for your Monday, Tuesday, for your Monday commute for the people that listen and watch on Monday. All right, man. So, bro, I think we should just get to the game that we just saw right now. The clash of the superstars, which I'm not gonna. This was like a throwback. I loved it. So I'm talking about the Clippers versus the Phoenix Suns. Clippers underman team prevail. Actually, before we get to that, how crazy is it that all the road teams won today so far?
Yeah, I mean, I hit them on a spread parlay. Just need the Timberwolves to cover 7.5, so they'll be good on that.
All the road. This has got to be the first time that all on the first day, first round of the weekend that all road teams have won. This has got to be the first time this has happened.
No. I'm pretty sure this happened before.
Really? You think this has happened before? Okay.
Pretty sure this happened before. And I mean, and it's like
In the 7-game series era?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it happened before. I mean, because
A
game
7 beating the 2 is already rare as it is.
Always the swing game.
A 7, but a 7 beating the 2 is always, but they usually take care of their business at home. All right, but anyway, yeah. So Clash of the Titans, Kawhi Leonard versus Kevin Durant. This game was pretty damn good, man. So the Clippers won 115-110. I mean, we're like, so let me start with the positives and stuff, and then we can move on to negatives. I think Russell Westbrook played the best worst game I've ever seen him play. He was not effective offensively at all. I think he was -6. He played 36 minutes. He was 3 for 19 from the field. Only made one of his 6 threes. He was, again, this is one of those games, if you don't watch basketball and if you was just going off the stat line, you would think Russ had an awful Russ game. But like defensively, he was a menace out there. Go ahead, Ruff.
I mean, first thing I say is, just watch Russell Westbrook. Lets me know every day he tanked it with the Lakers, because the effort that he was showing, the effort that he was showing on the glass, the defensive end, the last play on Booker,
Yeah.
the block at the end, and smacking it off of him, the glass attacking, the pushing of the
How
paint.
about how he was chasing and blocking Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant's shots never get blocked, and he got ripped a couple times too.
And he was doing this thing where he was getting blown by Booker, was smacking the ball out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think my biggest takeaway from this game is I just think that there's a glaring issue in Phoenix, and I think it's DeAndre Ayton. Chris Paul is at this point in his career where he can maintain affect the game by not scoring. He damn near had a triple double, and the only thing was missing was points. He had double-digit rebounds and assists.
Yep.
DeAndre Ayton got outplayed by Ivica Zubac in the first half, and then showed up a little bit in the second half, And he
Again,
to
like
me,
you, so you're saying this, but DeAndre Ayton, if you look at his shot chart, it doesn't look that bad. But
it doesn't look that bad. But if you watch the game, you know
I'm saying
Zubac,
it's one of those for sure.
Zubac was getting to every ball before he was,
Mm.
and they were doing. And then the Clippers came up with this weird ass funky thing where the matchups where they knew they were going to switch, and Kawhi was on DeAndre Ayton, and not one time did he like ask for the ball in the block, and then punish Kawhi or something. I don't fucking know. They got Kawhi on you. They're cross matching this whole thing, and I mean, Finn's got to figure some shit out. But I tell you right now, there's a glaring issue with DeAndre Ayton because he needs to be a third banana with those two other dudes. No matter how well they play, he has to be more. He has to be really effective. Because if you ask me, Plumlee and Zubac were the two better big men than DeAndre Ayton, and that was just in one game.
Plumlee gave him some good minutes. I was surprised Ty Lue, but I shouldn't be surprised because Ty Lue has done this and he's shown that he's going to do this when he's a head coach. But there was one point in the fourth quarter where the Suns got really small, and I thought for sure that he was going to take Plumlee out and just kind of just go with one of his lineups that he's deployed where he has nothing but shooting and Russell Westbrook out there. And he stayed big. He stayed true to that. He stayed with Plumlee. He trusted Zubac, like you said. Let me be remiss, but again, personally, I'm not a fan of both of these two teams. I'm not a fan of a lot of these players that were on the court, to be honest with you either. But I'm gonna give this guy his flowers, even though what Devin Booker played one of his. I'm sorry, the best defensive game I've ever seen him play. Like literally, I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know he had this in him. I think Stan Van Gundy said through the telecast that he was playing defensive of the year type of defensive play in this series, in the first game, and he was right. He was slapping balls away. He blocked. Whose shot was that? Bones Highland shot and was talking shit to Bones
He didn't
Highland.
block it. He didn't block it.
He blocked Bones Highland.
He didn't block that shot. Go watch it again. He didn't block
He
it.
did. He gave him the high five. It's blocked.
The ball was already gone. He didn't block it. I'm like, Booker, you just talking shit. You didn't get the block, bro.
Got charges. It was the most active I've ever seen him defensively. We haven't said a word about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was, Kevin Durant for the most part. He didn't shoot a whole lot in this game. He only had 15 attempts. He was 7 out of 15, but he was distributing almost had a triple double. He had 11 assists, 9 boards. He was the assassin, and I started by up the top be saying this, and we can move on to the next series because we kind of go along this, but but after I say this, then we could talk about adjustments for what you think the Suns need to do. Oh, you kind of did already, huh? You kind of said that DeAndre needed to play better. I love that Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard took the challenge and guarded each other down the stretch. We don't get enough of that in playoff in regular season matchups. I love that Kawhi Leonard made it his duty to guard Kevin Durant and literally fight through screens and check him as much as possible. Obviously there's cross matches and stuff when you got to get back in transition, but I love that about the series.
The last thing I'm gonna say on the series is that, like you said, the underman Clippers, and to be honest, I don't think they're underman. Like, yeah, you're missing PG, but like if you just look at what Norman Powell brought to the table tonight,
yeah,
like this team, and you understand like how hard it is going to be for Phoenix to find a solid 20 minutes out of that three.
It's crazy. Norman Powell only played 23 minutes. It felt like he played more than that. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, but you know how hard it is going to be for Phoenix to find a fifth player.
They got to find the fifth Beatle.
And that's crazy that the Clippers' depth and the way they can defend and the way they can throw waves of players at you and still be okay. And you have an issue where like they're force feeding Torrey Craig and giving him mid-range.
Craig was cooking. I was telling Carolyn. I was telling Carolyn. I was like, it looks like. I mean, actually, that should be your strategy. It looks like the Clipper strategy is to let Torrey Craig go for 25, and it looked that way. It was just like let him do his thing and focus on everything else. Chris Paul missed some bunnies in the paint, man. But so I don't. As far as adjustments for me is, if I'm the Suns. I think Kevin Durant has to shoot more. I think Kevin Durant played a really, really good defensive game. Chris Paul missed some easy bunnies down the stretch, and I agree with you. DeAndre Ayton got to play a little bit better, but you can't let both of the Clippers big play better than you down the stretch. All right, where are we at?
I think we need to see Terrence Ross at some point.
Yeah, yeah, but I think he's just so bad defensively.
Or
All
TJ.
right.
I mean, you know what? But I think you can kind of hide them, but they need some kind of shooting because they tried Isaiah Ramright and he was just a bunch of braids out there.
Bunch of praise. All right, so we might as well do it in kind of backward sequence. All right, so this one's kind of somber. This is a 1-8 matchup, man, and those fighting Miami Heat, man. Those fighting Miami beat the again. I'm gonna use the word again because their best player, Giannis Antetokounmpo, unfortunately got hurt in the first quarter. Tried to come back and was not able to come back. But those fighting Miami Heat beat the Milwaukee Bucks 130-117. Jimmy Butler did what Jimmy Butler does, man. He played 42 minutes. It seemed like he played damn. Anytime he came out of the game, I was literally again. I was, I'm rooting for a longer series, so I was kind of holding my breath for Miami. Like, man, please don't let these minutes go bad. But Jimmy Butler had 35 points. He had 11 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. Playoff Jimmy Butler is a real thing. I don't know why people try to disrespect Jimmy Butler. And I'll be remiss if I didn't bring this up too. Tyler Hero also was hurt during the game. I think they said that he reported he broke his hand. The crazy thing is he broke his hand and shot a 3 and knocked it down with a broken hand.
Oh, he missed it.
No, he missed it. I thought he hit it. I thought okay. Then I'm thinking
like
of
he
another.
made it, but Bam tipped it in. Bam tipped it in.
Oh, okay. I must be thinking of another play. But yeah, the Heat team that couldn't shoot, that struggled shooting all year, especially even struggling shooting in the first playing game, made some shot, man. Gabe Vincent gave him a big boost, man. Max Strus, they was knocking him down. So for you, what do you think that needs to change, or the Milwaukee needs to try to adjust we don't know what's going on with Giannis. We hopefully it's nothing serious, but let's see what do you think Milwaukee needs to do, and how do you think about how Miami played?
I mean, it's literally contingent on one player. Like I mean, Middleton had 30. Drew, like he
Drew
played.
had 16. He was minus 15. I've never seen. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch this entire game. This was the game I kind of took a break. But yeah, keep going.
No, but I'm just saying, my only thing is for the Bucks is that I just felt like they should have played better even without Giannis. They kind of once Giannis went down, they kind of got in this like struck mode, and I know that Miami is attacking them. But I'll be honest, like Miami is literally driving and kicking. Like that's literally their game. They're getting Strus shots. They're getting hell. Duncan Robinson even hit a 3 today.
Bam was hesitant on some of the mid-range jumper when I was watching too. I was like, Bam, like you practice take those, and then he started taking them in the fourth quarter.
But this series going forward, I would just say this. Don't think it's going to like this series now has become more interesting because I thought it was going to be Bucks and 6, and now I don't know who's going to win. So,
just off the strength, huh?
Even if Giannis comes back, I think losing that one game, because there's going to be, you know how it is. Like you get into like now next game, the Bucks are back against the wall. I'm pretty sure they'll come out and win the game with or without Giannis. And then now you get to Miami and then all bets are off. You know what I'm saying? You get if the Miami Heat fans show up on time, you get them, that White Hot Arena, heat is on. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. This was what Bill Simmons was, constantly saying throughout the year, the zombie heat. Real quick, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up too. Kevin Love gave them a big boost. I believe he hit 5 threes in the game for them. And then I saw this stat on the internet, so I thought I should share it real quick about the Miami Heat game. If my phone would stop being dark. Oh, thanks, phone. 1 second. The Miami Heat played 9 players tonight in true Eric's and Pat form. 4 of them were undrafted. That's the first time that's ever happened in NBA, and they beat the number 1 seed. I think that was pretty fly. All right, man. So adjustments for me. Yeah, basically what you said, man. Middleton's got to play better.
Middleton had 33. I don't think he can play any better.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I meant to say Drew. Drew needs to play better, and Splash Mountain's got to get it going. And because we'll see what happens with this Giannis injury.
I would say this, and not just to go further, but like, lastly, if they lose, like they probably need to do some shaking on that.
Milwaukee.
Oregon. That whole like I don't believe you could run Middleton back. He's unreliable. To me, when he's good, he's healthy, but now he's kind of
They got a big decision to make. Middleton's a free agent, and you're just gonna hand him the bag. They got some. We don't want to talk off season stuff, but
Mavericks.
that's gonna be a big situation there.
Are we to
All
the
right, man.
bubble?
Let's get to the main course. Let's do it. The number 7 seed went against the number 2 seed. Los Angeles Lakers went against the Memphis Grizzlies, and what a game! What a show! This was probably the best Laker game I've ever. I'm sorry, the best I've seen this team play, start to finish. The first half was kind of. I mean, the second quarter was kind of bad. LeBron had some bad turnovers. Some still bad. Like this is the second game where he's had some really really bad, uncharacteristic turnovers. But this was a total team effort. Obviously, Anthony Davis probably played defensive of the year type of defense. I think he had 5, ended up having 7 block shots. Like he got like 2 more in down the stretch. D'Angelo Russell probably played one of his better playoff games. Rui Hachimura, who their people, the internet was calling him Rui KD, the Japanese Kevin Durant. What you think about the Japanese Kevin Durant for Rui Hachimura?
Hey, just play like that, Rui.
And then Austin Reeves, man, they gave him so many names that I can't even think. Austin Powers, what you think about Austin Powers for Austin Reeves? Burning man.
I don't like Austin Powers.
And I told you guys in the chat, to me, this was the quietest 21 points I've ever seen LeBron score in a playoff game. It was quiet. It was well warranted. Like he didn't need to do much. He trusted Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell to take him home. So yeah, Rell, go ahead, man. Get your shit off. What do you think? Obviously, I'm not going to tell you to talk about adjustments for the Grizzlies. I will want you to be objective and say what you think the Grizzlies need to do. I have not brought up Ja Morant's injury yet. We have to wait and see about that. That's one thing that sucks. We've had 2 like major players that have gotten injured, so we have to kind of figure it out. But go ahead.
One thing I will say this about, like, I think the NBA probably, like, NFL has done this with the protecting the quarterback because that's the product. I think the NBA probably should take away
the charges
in the paint.
Dave DeFore, huh? Dave DeFore has been pushing this for like the longest.
In the paint only, though. Like charges outside the paint, cool. But in the paint, we should just be contesting like the shot because like there's no way like Ja cannot come down. Like, even though he's a jumper, when he jumps, he's like above you. But I mean, I digress. But I just think that they got to take away charges from inside the paint. They got to do that. Overall, I mean, when Morant got injured, it was 5 minutes left in the game. He only had 18.
Let the record show the Lakers are up 6. Keep going.
Yeah, and they only had 18 points at that point. Which my biggest fear after watching what he's done to us before, and we start off with the Vandalorian over there, switched it to Schroeder. I love the way that we were just mix and matching. D'Angelo finally showed up and played a great game. But like I said, it's just all going to come down to what if Ja can stay healthy, if they can get him downhill. But my thing is, I got to go back and rewatch the game. But up until like he only had 18 points. Like mind Triple J was probably the best scorer tonight, and then Bane hit some tough shots.
The best game I've ever seen Triple J play. Keep going.
But and Bane had 22. But my thing is, if you're going to contain Ja, I mean, if we're going to contain Ja how he was contained, that's the difference. Even if he's healthy, the Lakers are going to win the series. Mm-hmm. I think he only had 18 points in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes left. He scored 20 damn points against us in the quarter at one point. He can get downhill and explode. And if he's contained, Lakers will win this. But the whole thing is if he's not, or if there's hand issues lingering any longer, I mean, right now, I'll be honest with you. So let me take off the objection hat and put on the Laker hat. Right now, I'm in Eddie Guerrero mode. I'm in lie, steal, cheat mode when it comes to the Lakers. I don't care how we get there. I don't care tomorrow. I don't give a shit if the hand was broken in 6 places. I don't give a fuck. Long as we advance to keep going.
All right, let me talk about the Grizzlies since that was just so Laker positive. Jaren Jackson Jr., that was the best performance I've ever seen him play both ends. He stayed out of foul trouble, which every commentator had to make sure that they brought it up that he averages 5 fouls against the Lakers in the regular season. It's only 3 games. Um, I think another positives. I think they should find some more minutes for Luke Kennard. He only got 5 shot attempts, but he had some more. Huh?
He played 23 minutes.
Yeah, he played 25 minutes. I feel like they need to find. Well, again, we'll see what's going on with the Ja situation. Xavier Tillman played pretty well. He didn't get up any shot. Dylan Brooks missed a lot of open threes. I'm sure that was part of the Lakers' game plan to leave him open. I like. What did you think about the matchups when the game first started? LeBron started on Triple J. Tillman,
I was surprised by that, but Tillman. I mean, it allows AD to rest. It just shows different matchups to Triple J.
Yeah.
But also because Vando has to start on Ja, which I like, and he should just be wherever Ja go, he go. Yep. But honestly, I mean, the matchups didn't really, but it was the
Tyus Jones should probably play more for them too. Tyus Jones was actually giving them some good minutes when he was out there.
Jones, my issue was like they threw Roddy out there, the rookie, for 10 minutes. They can't. I don't know if they're going to be able to play Conchar and Aldama.
My question is this, and this is just as an objective person that watches basketball, especially the Grizzlies over the last year. Why has Zaire Williams just fallen out of the rotation so bad? He showed flashes of some things in like a year ago. Like he was like the second or third person coming off the bench like last year. I don't understand why they wouldn't go to him. He has size. He can kind of shoot. Maybe they don't feel like he's ready for playoff basketball. I don't get that.
They groomed him last year, and he got playoff minutes last year.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand that. I mean, again, I don't pay attention to Grizzlies. Maybe somebody else can tell me like what's going on with him. But it shows that he played 31 seconds, so he got in there for a little bit of time. But to me, it's just like he has size. You need the size that he provides because at one point when Dylan Brooks was resting. Like you said, they brought in Roddy, and he just has a big body, but he's too small. Again, LeBron wasn't doing anything, but they had Desmond Bain guarding LeBron at one point, and it was just like Zaire Williams is 6'8", 6'9", if I remember off the top of my head. Won't you just try it? Like, let's see how it looks, and it's probably gonna look bad, but see how it looks. Yeah, man. This was, again, just to reiterate, this was the full package Laker game. If you are Laker fans like us and believe the Lakers can win it all, that is the kind of performance that gives you where it's like, oh, okay, now I see what everybody sees. Like that's when all the collection of people and all the pieces come together, and Anthony Davis looks like he's I don't know, wilt on defense out there. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happened Wednesday. That's a pretty good enough time to see if Ja Morant is going to be available or not. All right, man. So done with the Sunday games. As of right now, the Minnesota Timberwolves are still losing to the Denver Nuggets 53-42 with 1 minute left in the second quarter. But let's get to the Saturday games, man. We can try to make this fast as possible. We're probably gonna go long. We're gonna go a little past the time, but it is what it is. All right, so let's just go ahead and get to it, man. Let's get to the Beam team, man. The Beam team, the team that you and I have put a wager on to win the series. The Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors. I'm trying to find the score right now while I pause.
26-123.
There you go. This how they do this on freaking NBA thing is freaking terrible. They need to just fix it. But yeah, Sacramento, man. First of all, what an atmosphere from the television, from my couch. I felt the atmosphere. Nate Duncan was there covering the Warriors for Dunked On, and I don't know if you saw this, but like just the random jerseys that they had in the crowd. Did you see some of these jerseys that they had in the crowd? I should have had it prepared, but they had fans that had just the most randomest King players that you forgot were King players jerseys. It was kind of incredible, kind of funny at the same time. But yeah, man, Steph Curry and why can't I think of his name? De'Aaron Fox had a duel. I mean, Malik Monk played well too, but De'Aaron Fox, for those who did not watch the Sacramento Kings a lot this season, De'Aaron Fox was one of the most clutch players in the league this season, and in this fourth quarter, it looked like a regular season game to him in his first playoff game in his entire career. Balled out with 38 points. He didn't really have any. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to see how much turnovers he had.
Less than 5.
He had two turnovers. Malik Monk had a really good game. You know who played really well, and I was surprised. And he was kind of a pass. I hate to use that phrase, but he was an NBA journeyman. Trey Lyles, man. Trey Lyles played really well. Who's about to say?
I was about to say Alex Lynn.
Oh yeah, Alex Lynn played well too. I was giving Alex Lynn some love in the chat. But Trey Lyles played really well. He knocked out some really key threes. But what did you think of the game? What did you think of the atmosphere? What are your takeaways? What do you think the Warriors need to do for adjustments?
Atmosphere was gonna get them a game alone. You know, I just feel like no matter what, like that game, 16 years. Like, I mean, I put a little wager on that one, and I hit on that.
We have a big wager on that one. What you talking about?
I mean, I put a little wager on that game one.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
but I mean, it's not really a big wager.
The odds when we was talking about it was a big wager. Everybody had the Warriors. Don't do that.
Yeah, and they got this, but yeah, we got a plus 220, so it's not even a. My thing is, I don't know about this bet because, like I said, if that's what you have to do to put away the White Walker Warriors, you know, like if this says that what you have to do to put away, you know, the White Walkers. If you gotta put a fucking stake through their knife and they're still gonna come after you, like this. I'm worried about this series, man. Like the quality of shot making concerns me because that's what the Warriors want to do. You snuck out with a game, you got it. Congratulations.
That's what Mike Brown said. He said the Warriors like to play fast, and we want to play faster, and that's how they started playing better. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just don't know in the playoffs how many times I'm going to get 32-point performances from Malik Monk. I don't know.
That would be the only one, but I would counter that. When are you going to get another Domantas Sabonis 5 and 17? I think he's going to play better. When are you going to get Keegan Murray, who led the rookies in 3-point percentage this year, and was completely outplayed by Malik Monk? I think he's going to play well too. Kevin Huerter, who played 30 minutes, was a complete next to no show as well. Like they had some of their starters who played really, really well, really good basketball all season, played some of their worst games, and they were rose up by the play of Fox. Again, I don't want to say Domantas Sabonis played awful because he grabbed. I mean, how many boards he grabbed? He grabbed 16 rebounds. So he didn't play that awful. He just couldn't, throw a rock in the ocean. But I will say this: Malik Monk played the probably playoff game of his life. You're probably not going to get another Malik Monk game of that caliber. No.
I just don't know who's my thing is it's going to be Fox. And I don't know what the Warriors are going to do for Fox. I mean, the only way I feel like if the Kings win this series is if Fox goes nuclear like that every damn game. He's going to have to because
he's been doing it all year, though.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, he's in our division.
And the only person that was able to stay in front of him was Gary Payton. Steph, no. Clay, no disrespect to Clay.
Honestly,
Clay can't do that no more.
Wiggins did a bad job over there. Wiggins was giving them hell in that first half when they were cross matching.
Oh, that's another thing. How did I not bring that up? So Andrew Wiggins' first game back from God knows what he was going, personal reasons. The fact that he played that well in his first game, but he didn't look that gassed too. That's another scary thing too. He's just I know he's been working out, but he didn't look that gassed. He played.
You don't tell me that doesn't change the way you think about this series.
I don't, because I think Domantas Sabonis can play better. That's why I think. I think as whatever you feel about how Wiggins can play better, I feel like Domantas Sabonis, who's been really fucking good this entire season, who's gonna make the third team All NBA for a lot of teams. He's probably a shoe-in marker for third team All NBA for everybody else. I think he's gonna play better. I think he's gonna. Again, we was talking in the chat, he was so hesitant with that 13-footer, Draymond and Looney was giving it to him, and he was just turning it down. And just, after you see him, you miss a couple, and then you see him, they just leave you open, the confidence factor starts to build up. He's just not confident in that shot. I'm sure his coaches told him, I would almost put money in game 2 tomorrow. He's gonna knock down like 2 or 3 because they're giving them to him, and I think he was knocking down that shot all season. So like, yeah, I don't think Demonis is gonna play that bad.
I mean, and I would just say this last year, we can move on from it. I think the Kings have a great chance to win the series because I mean, you got one of them dudes. Fox is gonna. He's not the stars. The stage doesn't even. No matter how clutch he was, we know it's different. Like I told you, every time the players roll around, that basketball turns to a medicine ball.
Yeah.
So I just think the biggest words adjustment plays into what the Kings want to do is that they can't have Looney and Draymond. I don't even know why the fuck Steve Kerr even had Looney and Draymond together on the same court at the same time.
You did. You were the advocate of that in the chat because they were playing so well defensively. They were stopping Demonis Sabonis.
Shrinking the court so much, though. You're shrinking the court. You have.
Are you really shrinking the court when you got 2 of the greatest shooters of all time on the court, though?
I mean, you can combat that, but what the? I mean, Looney's out there just for effort. I mean, to be honest,
he's out there stopping their second best player.
To be honest, to me, it funnels your defense. It funnels your defense. You can sag off of 2 guys.
Yeah.
You know, so my thing is, if the war to me the best Warriors lineup is Draymond, Wiggins,
yep,
GP3, Clay, and Steph.
Yeah,
that's got to be because this ain't a search for Poole, and I don't even know how long term Poole's going to be on the Warriors. Yeah. But this ain't a long term search for Poole. Like Poole to me does not really fit, and I think Dante DiVincenzo is a better player than Poole right now.
Poole is very up and down all season, and I think his pace. I mean, just being and then I hate to say this, but like when Steph sits, just Poole being in there, being a diet version of Steph, really still bends the defense because like people treat him like Steph on teams, like they treat him like Steph.
More so because of the speed, not because of the
yeah. He gets treated like Steph, and that still bends the defense and open up for players like Draymond and open up for players like Looney and stuff like that. But adjustments for me, I don't think the Warriors need to change the wheel. I think they play pretty well. Wiggins is just going to get better, stronger. Clay, I think he got blown by a couple times, but I think at this point, like asking Clay to guard points and 2s is probably just a little too much for him. I think he's better for guarding and more impactful now in this point of his career, guarding 3s and 4s. And that's it, man. I don't think there's a lot. Again, not a lot to change the will. They did a good job around slowing Sabonis, and then Sabonis got to try to play better. In game 2, which is tomorrow. All right, so let's get to honestly probably the last exciting game of this of the first rounds of the first game of the first rounds. The orange. What does Stephen A. Smith say? Orange and blue skies. It was all orange and blue skies on Saturday. The New York Knickerbockers. Huh?
My mistress team, the team that I really like. I got a bunch of merch. I don't tell anybody.
For whatever reason, Carolyn's rooting for them too, and I'm just like, why are we rooting for this team? What are we doing? Why are we?
Tell Carolyn get down. We can put a little money on the futures Knicks because they win in the East, baby.
Oh my God. Anyway, I'm trying to find how much they won by. 101-97. Knicks beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. Storylines up top. Julius Randle returned from his injury that he got hurt in the regular season and played.
Call him that. Don't call him Julius.
I'm not calling him Mando. Julius Randle played way better than a lot of people expected coming back from that ankle injury.
Tears in my fucking eyes.
Josh Hart. Jeez, freaking Louise. Josh Hart played probably the game of his life. He's already one of the best offensive rebounders and guards in the NBA, and he balled out. I think this game, out of all the games, this game to me was just won by the Knicks' offensive rebounds. Again, it didn't look that way on the stats. Like if you would just go off the stats, the disparity isn't that bad, but it just felt like every time the Knicks there was one possession where they got like 4, and obviously that says a whole lot. But every time it felt like the Cavs was. The game was back and forth and tick for tack for a lot of time. The Cavs kept it in between 2 or 3 or 4 and 5 the entire time. But every time I felt like the Cavs were getting momentum, they would there would be a play where Jalen Brunson gets a shot up and miss, rebound Obi Toppin, and then somebody else get a shot up like Grimes, rebound Josh Hart, and it's just like those are backbreakers. They're just they kill the momentum. They again, if I was talking about a player who was kind of invisible, and it's hard for this player to be invisible because of his size and how tall, I felt like Jared Allen was freaking invisible in this game. Like he had 14 rebounds, but if it was ever a game where 14 rebounds was quiet,
It was this one.
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna just
No, but I would just say that my biggest takeaway is not than the rebound, my man Mobley getting. I was kind of upset because Mobley's my man, but Mando's my man.
you got a lot of men.
So I was rooting for the Mando, obviously, because the Knicks win in the East. I just my biggest takeaway is that the late in the possession, like they have another problem too. Your fifth player, you cannot hide him on this court if he cannot play proper basketball.
I wonder why they didn't just try Danny Green. Like just try Danny Green.
You know what? I
they let Chetty play 18 minutes. I'm looking now. Chetty,
but then he played crunch time though of the 18.
Yeah, like again, Chetty's fine, but like
no,
but he try a legit knockdown shooter who's been in these situations.
He's getting his ass busted by Jalen Brunson.
Yeah,
and it's another series, just like how last year we saw, in the Mavericks versus the Jazz when Jalen Brunson was busting everybody ass. My thing is, you have two players. It's this kind of team is weird because you have two players. I mean, Donovan Mitchell isn't a shiv defensively, neither is Garland, but they have to hide him for some reason. They hide him on RJ and Hart, and then you leave fucking Brunson on and Chetty Osman on the island, and he just frying his ass. Yeah. So
Ricky Rubio at one point of his career was like one of the best perimeter defenses in the game that like nobody talked about, but now he's like, after his ankle, after having so many surgeries and just being older, he's not that guy anymore. I'm looking at this stat line right now. The Cavaliers only played 8 players, and while that's like, oh, it's Kevin, that doesn't mean anything. That means you put a lot of minutes on a lot of your starters, man. So I'm looking right now. Donovan Mitchell played 44 minutes. Jared Allen played 43 minutes. Darius Garland played 44 minutes. You put in a lot of minutes. Again, they're young, so it is what it is. You're paying a lot of minutes on your team when Thibs is literally playing 10 guys because he got mobs. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of players that he can play in this schedule. And one last thing before I go, because we didn't even bring his name up. Donovan Mitchell was literally dragging this team to the finish line. Again, didn't shoot the best. He got 38 points, but he did it on 30 shots, so like it wasn't that efficient. But again, just knocking down timely. Damn, he took 16 3-pointers. Fuck. He was 6 for 16 from 3. That's a lot of 3-pointers. Steph doesn't even take that many 3-pointers in the playoffs. But again, just drag this team because again, he's the only player on this team that I'm trying to think that really has playoff experience. Jared Allen, he has a little playoff experience. Evan Mobley, this is his first playoff experience. Darius Garland, this is his first playoff experience. Garland played pretty well though. He made some timely shots too. But I think this is gonna be the most back and forth series. I think it is. This is to me, this is like a guaranteed 7 series. But the only thing that now. The Cavs got to go win one in New York when they could have just not win and won in New York. So now they got to find one to win one in Madison.
I'll end on this. Lastly, the biggest disappointment to me, I think, from that game is that Isaac Okoro, who was a lottery pick from Auburn, like
22 minutes.
He just like
1 for 6.
He better learn Chinese. I would just say that. He better learn. Isaac Okoro needs to learn Chinese because that's the fucking league he's gonna be playing in real soon because it's just terrible. Your job is just they compared this dude to Kawhi Leonard when he came out in the draft. Like this is fucking insane that he can't even be on the court in a playoff game. You can't even be halfway effective. You're supposed to be a 3-and-D guy. Isaac Okoro is just such a fucking letdown, man.
All right, so these last two we can kind of get out of here and make this very, very fast. The Boston Celtics beat the Atlanta Hawks. I'm not going to lie to the audience at all. I did not watch a dribble of this game because I expected the Boston. Huh?
When was it? What day was that? Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday. Boston beat the Atlanta Hawks. I'm trying to look at the thing. Why does it keep doing that when I do
The
this?
Sixers won by 20.
So annoying. Boston beat the Atlanta 112 to 199. Um, I didn't see this. Did you watch any of this game? I didn't watch any of this game.
No. Well, once I saw the score, it was already kind of out of hand the first half. I didn't even bother checking in. But like you said, that was the Aaron's game, and I was getting
This was the Aaron's game. Run
because
your
this is the game that was in between the Cavs and Knicks. So I had to go to North Vegas to get some fucking food. So I just ran over there to say. By the time I got to North Vegas and back, it was the Cavs were starting. So
No, okay. So, you hear that, guys? I'm sorry, people that care about the series. We didn't watch this. I was telling. He said something. I said in the chat. I was just like, I was telling my man Jeff, this is the run your errands game. Go run your shit and get out. But I did watch a little bit of this game, at least in the fourth quarter. So we can talk about the Philadelphia Sixers, 76ers, and the Brooklyn Nets. In the first half, I saw Miles Bridges was balling out. The game was really, really close. And then Joel Embiid in the Sixers, who Joel Embiid didn't even have to have a big presence Joel Embiid game because the Sixers just knocked down threes. This is they like, I mean, it looked like everybody was knocking down three, and James Harden played really probably arguably one of James Harden's best playoff games. But it's in the first round, so we'll see what happens in later rounds. But yeah, man, there's not this whatever you want to take away from this one. Tyrese Maxey played 32 minutes. He only took 8 shots. No, yeah, he only took 8 shots. He went 3 for 5 from 3. Huh?
My biggest takeaway always for is how you can guard and be, and what they did was just stupid as fuck.
7 for 15. They was trying. So I heard it on the Low Post podcast when they were talking about that they was gonna swarm him, and because Claxton can't do anything with him. But yeah, they don't have a lot of answers, man. That's why this series is not like that.
You extend your defense out so far to where, like, a simple pump fake, and now you're in scramble mode and driving kick, and now it's pass, PJ Tucker corner 3, pass, Tobias Harris open 3. Like, I'd rather have him be go for 50 and everybody just stay home. Yeah. I really would, because I believe that you have.
Don't foul Embiid, but yes, if you don't put him on the line.
If you foul the fucking Embiid, like, I mean, don't foul him, but you know how you like just De'Aaron Sharp, whoever it is. I would even go small at times and put Royce O'Neal at the 5 and just sacrifice people to get fucking killed, because there's nothing you're gonna do about it. Yeah. Everybody just stay home. You have, to me, I thought Dorian Finney-Smith was a good defender. I don't know. The Mavericks traded him and their defense got bad. Mikal Bridges, a good defender.
Right.
I just think that you have enough ability to stay home on dudes and not play this fucking running around. Everybody just like, I got tired of people getting burned off of just one pump fake and then a blow by.
Yeah. There's not a lot of adjustments here. We can get out after this. It's going to be interesting to see what the Nets look like in the next, when the offseason comes, because obviously they got a lot of players. I feel like Seth Curry underutilized, Yatu Winbe, how you say his name?
Yuta Watanabe.
Yuta Watanabe, who was leading the league in 3-point percentage for long stretches of the NBA season, only played 4 minutes. I feel like he's underutilized. Cam Thomas, who balled out when the trade first happened, was getting 30 and stuff, hasn't played a lot. I feel like this team has so many just players that just aren't going to be on this team next year. It's going to be interesting to see where all these guys find homes, because I imagine that the Nets are going to hold on to players like, obviously Bridges, and Cam and Dorian Finney-Smith, but I feel like anybody else is probably just worth talking to. Cam Thomas too. I mean, they might want to hold on to him because he's just so young. But I feel like everybody else on this team is going to be expendable, and they're going to try to find the best trade assets to get this team off. But yeah, I think that was it, man. Ned, again, I'm going to say this again, Dustin, your Nuggets should do what they're supposed to do. It's halftime. The Nuggets are up by 10 against the Minnesota Timberwolves, 55-44. I'm just gonna go on a limb and say y'all won. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. This is just gonna be stale. But yeah, please don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. This wasn't quite 20 to 25 minutes, but we got it to I think we got it like to 33 in that range. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. It helps the pod go a long way. And we'll be back on Thursday with the whole of our regular scheduled program. Please enjoy the playoffs. Go Lakers.